Hi there, my name is Bob Moretti. I am a graduate student with an MBA in 1978, currently retired for the last 10 or 12 years, and I have a lot of expertise, specifically in finance and planning and stuff like that, and I wanted to at least bring some topics of conversation that you might be able to use in your planning. Um, I have a unique perspective because I have children that range from the 40s, 30s, 20s, and teens. So I kind of have a concept of the way we've evolved over the last 50 years, specifically in finance and specifically in budgeting. Uh, I always feel, and I relate to this because I consider like when people have to put together budgets, it's kind of like dieting. All right. Nobody really wants to do it. All right. It's just something you have to do sometimes in order to enhance your life and to be prepared for situations that come up, particularly with this recent pandemic, which has brought major concerns for many, many people, and trying to make adjustments and trying to go forward during this tough time. So I kind of put together some generalized areas that we can discuss. We have expertise on our board in various fields, including banking, including accounting, including stocks and wealth management. So there are people that you can lean on that would be more than happy to help in those particular areas. I'm going to basically get into more general concepts. Number one, which is really important, is anytime you're trying to put together some sort of a budget, you need to know your income and you need to know your expenses. The problem I see is as technology has increased over the years, particularly when it comes to my children, uh, things are becoming more convenient. And convenience to me is a way of not paying attention to sometimes what you're spending. And because it's convenient, it's easy. You go and you buy something, you swipe your phone, and you just go forward. Now is the time you really need to analyze the various expenses that you're involved with, because if you're trying to budget and you're trying to save money, you have to know where your money's going. And so the first step that you need to do is identify your income and then also really get a grasp of your expenses. And this is really important because, as I said, we have so many things that are happening so quickly, specifically with technology, that we have a tendency to not pay attention to what we're spending our money on. And you really need to focus on that. You really need to do it just like if you were dieting. You need to know what you ate. Why did I gain weight recently? The various things that you look at, and then you have to make some adjustments. The same thing happens when you're budgeting and you're putting money together. Know where your money's going. Understand, okay, that when you spend money, you need to have a grasp as to what it is and how much you're spending on a monthly basis. So once you do that, then you can start tackling, the various things that you're spending money on. There's other things that you can do to help you in budgeting, particularly when you're paying bills. Try not, money is important. And in a way that you don't want to give up the money early. So in other words, what you can do to help yourself is you create a calendar and you start marking off dates on the due dates, and go as long as you can before you pay a bill, right up to the due date. Because when you pay bills early, it's not benefiting you. Time value of money. You need to hold that money as long as you can. Do not want to be late. You do not want late charges. But it's okay to go right to the due date and pay your bills. So I tell people, make a calendar, put your due dates on your various bills. Understand what your bills are. Sometimes, I'll give you an example. There's some things you are really hard to change, like if you have a mortgage payment or a rent payment. Those things are really hard to change, although you can, because you can refinance with your mortgage. Your rent is a set fee, it's fixed, it's going to be due certain days, you've got that expense. with your electric and with your gas and with your cable, those are things that you can particularly look at and you might be able to tweak. The dangers, once again, okay, are, can you push your, for instance, your air conditioning bill? If you can live a little more comfortably, if by pushing the heat, by pushing the air condition not so low, then you'll save some money. Once again, it's the kind of stuff that you need to analyze. You can't do that until you know exactly what you're spending your money on. So those are things. And the expenses, you look at them from month to month. You see where you can always add extra money if you can save money. You put it aside in a particular little a budget. And that's kind of like you're saving for the rainy day type of thing. So what you want to do with that particular thing is you put some money away as much as you can. If you can figure out a budget that you can survive on a monthly basis and you get paid every 2 weeks, to give you an example, okay? If you're paid every 2 weeks, twice a year, 2 times a year, you're going to get 3 paychecks. That extra paycheck can go into that emergency fund if you learn to live within your means on your monthly budget. The monthly budget could be 2 pay periods. That's 4. That's 48. You'll have 2 other pay periods that you can put that away for a rainy day. And the rainy day is here. So this is the kind of time that if you had saved some money, that's the area that you can tap. So never be afraid to go to that account, because a lot of people, they keep saving, and then they don't know what they want to do and how they touch it. And that's really important, to make sure that you can go to that particular fund in times of need. That's really important to get that done. And if you have trouble putting money away, okay, because a lot of people do, then try to set up some automatic deductions out of paychecks, and everybody's providing that today. Just put something aside. You'll be amazed on what you can do if you really spend some time and you take your time and you analyze your expenses, and this way you can get things done a lot more efficiently. Now, the other thing you can do from the income standpoint is, besides your job, if you're working, is don't ever lose sight of the fact that, the stuff that you accumulated during your lifetime, if you feel that you don't need a need for it anymore, some of the items that you have, some of the stuff that you collected, try to see if you can sell it and add some extra income to your portfolio. For instance, you can go to eBay, you can go to Amazon, you can go to Craigslist. As opposed to throwing stuff away, remember, what's considered, what I say, is trash to you sometimes is someone else's treasure. Okay, so it's really important to understand that everything that you've accumulated in your life, if you decide you don't need it anymore, you don't desire it anymore, somebody might want to buy it. And that's important to understand, because now you've got another source of revenue that can come in to help. And it's not really difficult to do this. It takes a little bit of time, but I know that everyone has got the capability to learn and how to do this. And you can add some extra money. The other thing is, in the process of convenience, and I say convenience is expensive because it is. All right, we all have obtained credit cards and we all charge things. Now, understand, okay, that's your highest interest rate. Those credit cards, they give you all these sweet little deals, but understand, if you have a balance on your credit card, that's going to cost a lot of money. So what you try to do with your credit cards is you use them as a last alternative, okay? And when you do use it, try to make sure it's within your budget, within your discretionary income and expenses, that you can pay it off completely after the monthly bills come in. That's so very, very important. And a lot of people, what they've done over the years, and you've read stories and you've heard about it, they've accumulated these bills on these credit cards, and the interest rate is huge. And just to make the interest payment with some of the principal is a challenge, and you want to avoid that. So try to use your credit cards, as I would tell my children, in times of emergency, when you really need to use the credit card. I always tell people, if you really want to understand what it was like back in the day, okay, and you want to get a little feel as to money and how to spend money, go a period of time when you don't use your cell phone, okay, to charge things. In other words, take some cash. I know this is hard. A lot of the kids today don't carry cash. Take some cash, put it in your pocket. That's what you've got to spend. whatever it is, if it's $20, if it's $40, it doesn't matter. When you reach into your pocket and you pull out, you have like $2 left. That's it. That's all you got. So you'd be surprised. What it does is it makes you learn that what's in your pocket is all I got to spend. Because when you have a cell phone and you pass it over things like this and you keep charging, it's really difficult to understand how much you spent and where the money has gone. You have better control that way. And then the other thing that I like to mention is as you're looking to go shopping, grab your coupons. Use your credit card that you have that would give you additional benefits. For instance, this is a time when you can use the credit card when you go to the market, and you're going to get value like 5% back because you've got a credit card that obviously gives you some money back when you buy groceries. Utilize that. Utilize the coupon. What you're getting is you're getting double exposure. You're saving because you're getting some money back on your credit card. You're also saving because you have a coupon, a store coupon. So the point is there are ways to really cut down on some things, but like anything else, you have to understand where the money is going. So you got to take time, analyze your expenses, understand, am I throwing too much money? If you're going to Starbucks on a daily basis, just look at the money you can save if you buy a coffee pot and you buy one of those like Yeti mugs or something, and you make your coffee and you take it to work or you take it to school. Just look at the money you can save from Starbucks if you're there every day. It's not cheap to go to Starbucks on a daily basis. Those are things that you have to look at and you have to analyze and you have to try to pick apart. What can I possibly do to lower my expense in this particular field? For instance, if it's coffee, what can I do to save on coffee? If it's food, understand if you go to the market and you want convenience and you're buying things in these little trays that they prepare, that is the top money you're spending. That's the biggest charge. They give you these little tiny packages. They have some grapes in them or crackers or cheese or stuff like that. Yeah, they're $3.99. You can buy a lot of stuff for $3.99. You can put your own stuff together. It's a plastic bag. You put it in. There's some changes you have to do. And I know it seems like nickel and dimes, but if you watch the nickel and dimes, they add up to dollars. And that's the critical part of budgeting. So what I'm going to leave with is this, okay? You can always try to enhance your income. You can get a second job. You can add people to your dwelling. If you're renting and you've got room to add somebody, you can bring somebody in. There's a number of ways you can add income. You can sell stuff that you've saved over the years and try to see if you can distribute it on eBay or Amazon. But the biggest part of budgeting is usually with the way people spend money, okay? And we have become very complacent because it's easy, and that's dangerous. Easy is dangerous because you don't get a feel for it. I'll give you one last sample of how I handle it. Although everything is computerized, everything's on the internet, all my bank statements are there. I don't do any bank reconciliations anymore. I don't have to do it. I just go on the internet. I go do all my stuff on that. What I still do, okay, is I have a little, the receipt book for the checks, is everything that goes into my bank account, I physically write on that little stub and I keep tabs of it. It seems like a mundane, ridiculous thing to do, but what it does for me is it gives me a physical grasp of what I'm spending my money on, okay? As opposed to constantly looking at a screen and looking at the items on the screen and then picking those items up and trying to process that in your head. If you write stuff down, you seem to retain it better, okay? Because it's a good way to practice on what you're spending money on. You cannot cut your expenses until you know what your expenses are. And you've got to really focus on that in times of need. Every time you can save a nickel, it'll add up. And eventually it'll turn into dollars, and then you'll get through most crises, okay? And the final thing is, as I say to my children, if you go through all 25 steps and you haven't saved a dime, then just pick up the phone and call me, and maybe I'll come and help you this time. So I hope everything works out for everybody, and take your time, analyze your stuff, and you'll get through anything. You just need a little time, patience, and understanding of where the money goes. and what do I need to do to make it better. Thank you.